Hello, we are live. Okay, have you shared already? I'm
Oh
just
yes,
about to do.
I
Okay,
have.
okay.
Let me
Yep, yep.
just
We have.
quickly
I think
double
we have
confirm.
we have 1 minute before the show. The show is supposed to
Okay,
start at 8:30. So let me just quickly do the sharing first.
okay.
Yeah. So for whoever is already on the show, we'll start soon.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Give me a minute. Share. Okay. All right. We still have a bit of time before that. How's your
Oh,
sharing going?
every not too bad, not too bad. Everything is
Yeah.
done from
Yeah.
my
So,
end.
mm, so before we start, before we start the actual show, maybe you can share with us your experience in creating content and also blogging at the same time.
Oh yeah. So,
Yeah.
uh, to be honest, one thing that really I'm really grateful of when talking about writing and creating content is this coming month, which is September, is actually my 2 year anniversary on creating NoMoneyLah on writing on NoMoneyLah, which
Mm.
is really really amazing. I never thought it would go that far. Creating content
Happy
like
anniversary.
thanks, Catherine. Creating content like this is it's truly amazing. A bit of experience after running all this. I think I enjoy the whole, at least most of the time, the content creation process, which
Mm-hmm.
like the fact that people actually read what I write, which
Mm-hmm.
is actually very amazing. That feeling
Yeah.
when people give you feedback, it's really something that I truly appreciate, which is really fun. And hopefully, if anyone that's watching this evening, do join us if you have like any questions and you have any feedback. Just share with me. I'm very new in what we are going to talk this evening as well.
I'm pretty sure you have come a long way, and I'm pretty sure a lot of your followers have seen the journey with you as well. Yeah, and at some point you were also a full-time trader, right?
Uh,
Other than
that
blogging
that
and
is still my goal, right?
mm,
So there was a point where I dedicate a lot of my time trading the market, but here's the thing. I have been I've also now I'm transitioning, kind of, not to say transition. I'm still learning as well. So in this learning process, I'm also running this blog business as well. So kind of have to manage my time better lah. Instead of
mm,
like 100% into trading, but now I have to kind of split my time
mm-hmm.
and manage it properly. Yeah.
Yeah. More so about time management. Hi, good evening, Kensing.
Good
Okay,
evening.
so I believe we
Hi.
can start now.
For sure. For sure.
Yep. Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to my personal finances podcast, episode 39. And we are still going to talk about financial independence today, this evening, with Yi Xuan, who is the man behind NoMoneyLah, which is the popular blog, if you guys know, blogs about personal finance and also adulting.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Catherine. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Good to be here tonight.
Yep. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Right. So, for the benefit of our audience, could you please do a brief introduction of yourself?
Okay, sure. Okay, first of all, thanks, Catherine, and thanks, MyPF, for having me in this live podcast session. My name is Yi Xuan. I'm the founder and the blogger behind my website called NoMoneyLah. So in NoMoneyLah, I write things about personal finance, investment, a bit of money, and trading, and a bit of mindset as well. So basically, NoMoneyLah is kind of a reflection of me being fresh in the market, in the journey of adulthood and money 2 years ago when I graduated, and so far that's what I do, right? That's what I do. Writing about money, writing about investing, writing about my experience. Yeah.
So it's good to have you on the show this evening to talk about financial independence, which is in conjunction with our Independence Month, actually, which is
Mm.
2 days later. Yep. So let's head straight to what is your definition of financial independence?
Now, thanks for asking the question, Catherine, because
Big question.
I have actually thought about this not long, some time ago, right? Because personally, I must be very, very honest, way before, like even months ago, I do not have like a very solid or structured idea about where I want to go when it comes to my financial independence journey. And to be honest, at this point in time, because I'm self-employed, right? I do not have any commitment yet, right? As in a girlfriend, a wife, partner, family, or all the other kind of commitment, right? I do not have them yet, so it's very hard for me to kind of gauge in an ultimate number, right, that I want to reach. But for me, how I look at financial independence is more of a principle or idea in mind in life, that when I achieve financial independence, or FI, right, it would be the day where I can live my life 100% at my own terms, right? Meaning, if I do not want to work anymore, I could, right? But the reason why I work is because I truly love my the work that I do, right? I truly add value to the people that that to the community that I'm targeting, and also it is something that I have fun doing, right? So that is kind of my vision towards financial independence.
Interesting definition. And we also know there's this big term about FIRE movement, which is financial independence and retire early, which is a big thing. No, a lot of people block about it. And what's your thought about FIRE movement?
Oh yeah, on this regard, I actually forgot to mention one thing when it comes to financial independence, right? I did mention that where my vision towards financial independence, but in the very most basic point of view, the day when I achieve financial independence is actually the day where I finally my passive income, right, that works without me working on it directly, is finally covering my expenses, right? So that is my definition towards financial independence. So when you mentioned that about the FIRE movement, personally I'm more towards the FI movement, or the FIRE movement, right?
Yeah.
I'm not too sure what people are calling it, but when it comes to retire early, to be honest, unless really touch wood something bad happened to me, I would not be retiring as long as I like doing what I do. I'm more of a workaholic, like as long as I'm pursuing something with passion, yeah, I'm not retiring soon. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a very good way to look at it. I mean, I personally think like times like this, or for now, I think retirement should have a different definition as well. Not just about financial independence. Previously people just always talk about, okay, at this age I need to have a target age, like the earlier the better, the younger the better. I just want to retire and then not do anything. So, but a lot of people, forgot the part that the interesting part is actually about what you have already achieved financial independence, and what are you going to do after that. So is retirement the word, or the way you look at it, like it's just different ways to look at it now?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's a different perspective. Yeah.
Okay, so so could you please share with us the 3 actionable steps to achieve financial independence?
Yeah, for sure. So to be honest, for me, I am a very, very, very young towards in this journey. So if anyone watching tonight, right, if you have any great tips or feedback, just share with me at the comment section, because I would really appreciate it, and definitely can learn a lot from all of you as well. So for me, right, how I approach my journey in financial independence is actually, now I have a caveat to mention, because I am self-employed, right? I do not work full-time
Yep.
stable paying job. So how I approach financial independence is actually ever so slightly different compared to most people that have a stable paying job, right? So the biggest difference, if I were to say, between as a self-employed is, I actually do not have consistent income coming to my bank account every month, right? Because obviously I don't have a employer to pay me that salary. But how I do that, how I normally do that is, I would kind of measure my revenue and prepare cash buffer for the next 1 or 2 months, right? Until the next stream of income came in, right? And obviously along the way, 2 years running the blog and doing the things that I do, right, I've also generated a decent, not to say comfortable, decent, small passive income or side income that comes in every month as well. So that's something to be noted as well. Okay, so with that in mind, I think we can start to, I think I can share about my approach to my financial independence journey, right? So the approach number 1, right, is really, I think this is actually the most important approach that is really, really underrated among people pursuing or talking about money at all, right? Because when we look at it, investment is always what people talk about, right? Invest. But I think when it comes to the topic of expenses and savings, right, it's being discussed, right? But the magnitude of discussion in social media is much lower compared to investment. So I want to just hit on this point first, real hard, because I think the first actionable step is really, if you are thinking even of achieving financial independence and retire early, right? Is really to optimize your expenses and savings, right? The most basic thing you can do if you are watching, you are just young, fresh into the job market or anything at all, starting your career, right? Track your spending behavior, right? You would be surprised to find that your lunch, right, is actually cost hell lot of money, right? I was doing so what I did a few months ago was, I kind of thought about this, right? I kind of asked my audience in Instagram and social media, how much, right, do you spend for your normal workday lunch, right? Meaning Monday to Friday, how much do you spend for lunch, right? So for any audiences watching here this evening, right, feel free to share with us at the comment section below. How much do you spend in average, roughly? Right, that the one that you pay on your own, not your boss pay for you, right?
And not those that you can claim under company expenses also, like out of your pocket.
Not counted for those. So share with me, I'm very curious, right? How much do you spend for lunch, the one that you pay for yourself, in the comment section below? Now, the reason why I say this, right, bring this up, is because you would be surprised, right, as a working adult, to find that your total lunch spending in a month could actually make up to a huge portion or a significant portion of in relative to your income. So here's the thing, right? The first thing that I would really encourage everyone to do is to track your spending behavior, right? And also, whenever possible, cut down on your unnecessary expenses. Like if during lunch, right, you do not have to buy a drink every time. So you can bring a bottle of water. No, once in a while can, but not every day.
And all sorts of beverages out there.
And the yogurt
or
drinks.
A cup of Starbucks that costs like sometimes close to 20 ringgit. Sometimes like it's a double or triple of your a hawker store lunch actually. That's so common.
Exactly. That's the thing. And not only that, right, I realized that a lot of people just spend way too much. So here's the thing. The point is, track your spending behavior, right? And also practice there's a lot of theories about budgeting out there that you can learn from, right? Do that, right? Set a budget for yourself. Then that would really, really be helpful. And the second thing, right, which is at the same point as well, right? Optimize your savings as well. Practice something that I've written lately is to practice purposeful savings, right? I've written an article about how I build my saving routine, right? Which is what I call purposeful savings, right? So basically, the whole idea is, as an example, right? We are humans, right? We need under normal circumstances, we go travel and stuff like that once or twice every year, right? I know, Catherine, you travel a lot as well for the past year, right?
Yeah, that's one of
Yeah,
my priorities.
So what we can do, right? Because normally for me in the past, when it comes to travel, right, it pains my heart when I have to pay for the traveling expenses, right? Because obviously gets are relatively expensive, right? You need to spend to eat and stuff like that, right? So what I do is I kind of take an average price of like a vacation, right? Or that the money that I spend on vacation, right? During a past year, then I kind of divide by 12, right? So every month I kind of save, purposely save like maybe if it's 1,002 ringgit, right? I kind of save like a few $100 a month to prepare myself towards the vacation. So when it comes to the time for you to actually pay for your vacation or spend for your vacation, right, you wouldn't feel hold back, right? Oh, this restaurant looks good, right? But because it's a little bit more expensive, so I miss out on the good food, right? So now that you have this purposeful saving on with you, right, traveling doesn't seem so stressful anymore in some way, financially at least, right?
Yeah.
It will be more fun traveling, and you'll be more happy spending the money because, well, you have allocated that money for it anyways, right? Yeah. So that's the first point about my
Especially if
first
you know
approach,
that,
lah.
yeah, especially if you know that you have already allocated the funds. So those are not exactly like I mean, the key point I would say is to be very, very conscious about every single expenses. Like we wouldn't. The last thing that we want is to end up, don't know where your money went after a whole month, thinking that
Yes.
I got paid like just a few days ago, but how come the money just went away? Like I hear so much of this. A lot of people tell me that like every month I just can't save any amount at all. But that's when we have to ask them the question, do you know where you are spending your money? Are you actually tracking your expenses? And also, are you spending on like things that you really allocated for, budgeted for? And are those things really like what you need? And are those really out of your top priorities? I mean, one of the ways that I can share is I do have like a want list and a need list. I mean, there are things that I think I want to buy, that I'll just dump it on the list, but I will always delay the purchase because I want to be very, very clear if those are the things that I really need or not. So I have the list there, and then, but surprisingly, more often I always delete and remove the items like from the list, because that if I don't buy it for a couple of months, that's when I realize I don't really need it at all. Why would I even want to spend the money? So yeah, that's one of the ways. But
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Mm,
Delayed gratification.
yes. All right. So very good point about optimizing expenses and be very careful with savings. And what about your next point for steps to achieve financial independence?
Yeah, second is something that is actually very, very similar, and I think this is equally useful for if you're watching and you work like a stable full-time job, right? I think this would be very, very useful to you as well. So this applies regardless you're self-employed or you are working for someone else. So the point is to improve your earning power. So one thing that I realized is how much we can save or invest is, to be honest, right, is how much is highly dependable on how much we earn, right? The more we earn, obviously, with controlled expenses, we can size out our investment fund or savings as well. So the point is, here's the thing. I think regardless of you are working on your own or you have a job, right? You need to figure out a way to improve your earning power, right? Regardless to get a pay raise, right? Hopefully it's still possible for times like this, or you gotta get a side income or get a side hustle or stuff like that. Now, for me personally, because I'm in a very unique situation where I work on my own, I have to take care of my own mess, right, and stuff like that. I need to put food on my own table, so I need to depend a lot of the times on myself, right? So here's the thing: if you are watching and you are building your own career, right, my suggestion is you need to explore, right, and find your own passion and strength, right? In short, explore your own niche and double down on that niche, right? A lot of people that I come across, right, which want to start a business and stuff like that, they thought, I want to do this, but at the same time, I want to achieve this, right? Oh, maybe I want to try another thing as well, right? This is after they quit their job and do what they want to do. So I realized that after 2 years working on my own, I realized that, actually, you know what? Working on my own, I don't have the time and resources to do everything, but I can, right, within my ability, become very, very good in one particular thing, right? So as an example, I'm a real estate investment trust or REIT. I would say I'm very enthusiastic towards real estate investment trust. So I double down on that, right, on that niche of myself, and I organize sharing session, right, to people where I collect a certain fund, right, or investment. I collect money from people where I do a paid sharing session. So that's me. And along the way, I keep on improving on my skills. So along the way, I can keep adding value to my audiences that are interested. So that's the thing, right? Double down on your strength and niche, right? Double down, right? And once you are really building a strong foundation towards your niche, then you can expand. So if I could offer another advice, or in other words, right, be indispensable, right, among the community that you serve, right? So you gotta always ask yourself, right, what kind of value do I add to the people around you, and what can my strength do, right, to really do more for the people around us? Then just double down on that. Then people realize that, actually, when they want to, learn about something, right, when they are looking for certain products and services, you are the person to go for. So this is my suggestion especially for people that are looking to improve your earning power, right? Don't try to achieve everything, right, at one time. Be so good and one thing that people, when I think about that kind of a product or service that they are looking for, the first thing that they thought of is you, right? So yeah. So that's my second point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good point. I think yeah, I mean, I think the word might be even just as simple as focus on like what you are good at, because we are all trying to achieve or do so many things at one time. Especially myself, like I know I look up this, I want to learn this, I want to learn that. End up I'm never good at like one particular thing. Yeah, so I think this point
Yeah.
is very, very interesting. And also, I think whatever you are sharing is actually very good advice for a lot of freelancers and self-employed out there. You'll be surprised there are more and more self-employed in Malaysia now. I don't have the exact figures, but I believe we have about, I mean, the last I checked, probably like a 30% and more, or one third of our working adults are self-employed. Actually, I don't have the exact
Mm.
number, but yeah, but I'm very sure this number is keep increasing. Yeah.
Exactly. So here's the thing, especially for actually if you're around our age, right, 20 plus, young 20s and late 20s, or even early 30s, right, you really need to just, if you can't find some, you are still trying to do everything, right? No problem, right, if you're young, right? But eventually you need to accept the fact that you need to end up with one thing and do that so good, right? Even because we simply cannot compete as a self-employed or even as a small team, right? We simply cannot compete with the big boys out there when it comes to resources and time, right? So we can only deliver and utilize our strength, right? Double down on that and just give the maximum value to people around us. Yeah.
Very good point. All right. Uh, what about
Yeah, so
your
maybe
final
I'll,
steps
yeah,
of
yeah.
achieving your financial independence?
Okay, so my third step when it comes to when it comes to achieving financial independence is finally, right? Finally,
Mm-hmm.
right? To be honest, I think this step, right, is can't come without the first two steps, right? We will
Mm-hmm.
never be able to achieve this third approach, right,
Mm-hmm.
without the first and second approach, which is the saving, right, control expenses and improve your earning power. So this third step is all about accumulating asset and build a strong passive income foundation. Now, a lot of young investors or new investors out there that I come across, right, they their mindset when they first started is they feel like, oh, I want to chase the excitement, right? What's the hottest thing in the market right now? What can give me the biggest return right away? But here's the thing: after in being in this space for some time, right, doing all this investment thing for some time, I realized that, oh, you know what? Let's play the long term game, right? Let's play the long term game as an investor, right? Let's slowly accumulate assets, right? Especially income generating assets that could help, right? Build your passive income foundation. It could be stocks, right? It could be real estate. It could be anything, right? Any form of asset that could help provide you a source of passive income. It could be another side business as well if you are working a full-time job. So accumulate asset, and I actually forget this, accumulate asset and skill set, right? And start building your passive income foundation. So normally how I do that is as I mentioned, my niche or strength is in real estate investment trust. So I double down on my research on REITs, right? And I started to build a foundation towards REITs, which in years time, right, will help me you generate a very respectable passive income for me. And that is only one of them, one of the source of passive income for me, right? Which personally I'm still planning like to expand to different source of passive income in a few years time, right? Obviously we can do things only step by step, one at a time.
One at a time. Yeah.
So yeah. So here's the thing, right? The point that I'm trying to deliver over here is you need for people that are thinking of accumulating assets and build passive income foundation, right? Um, think of what you are interested in, right? Because there are simply too many ways for you to build passive income foundation, right? There are so many ways, right? Not just real estate, not just stocks, right? But preferably you have some stocks as well, and not just a business, right? There are so many ways. So find what truly connects to you, right? Build on that, right? Then after that you expand, right? As what I mentioned just now, double down on your passion, then you expand. Now, the last point, which is at this point as well, I would suggest everyone, consistency over intensity, right? If you can only save 100 ringgit a month, if you are still young, you can only save 100 ringgit a month, do that, right? Do that no matter how small is it, right? I've been sharing with some other university students as well during one of their live session was, if you can only save 1 ringgit a day, do that, right? It's 30 ringgit. Sorry, is it? Yeah, it's roughly 30 ringgit a month, right? In a year, you get 360 ringgit, but you know what? It's a good start. So here's the point, right? For people that are joining in tonight, right? Be consistent, right? Don't try to stretch yourself, right? I want, as an example, this month, maybe you earn a bit of bonus, right? Just hit in like 5,000 ringgit a month of investment or saving. Then the next one you expect to do the same, but because you financially can't sustain the way or routine, right? It will kind of affect your mental and confidence. So, just start small, right? Do it within your comfort, within your financial comfort. Then you slowly stretch bit by bit, increase bit by bit. So that's how I practice my asset accumulation and how I build my passive income, especially in the stock market as well. Yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting. Like from your sharing, we all like when it comes to like investment planning, we always advise client to look at things in a big picture, do things a long term, always have your regular investment. But from your sharing, then we actually realized that it's not just about investment that we should look at the long term game. Like it's also about all the things that you're doing in life. Like as you mentioned, that it's because of you had the interest in REITs. That's why you invest your time and your skill set, and your time and effort on this. That's why you get better and better. That's about long term investment as well, instead of like you mentioned, always think about getting quick result. That it's always like
Exactly.
not sustainable.
Exactly. That's very true. That I think like we could really use like kind of the long term mindset when we do anything at all, right? Especially for young investors, right? Young or business people nowadays. I think if we can just stretch our time zone a little longer, right? We wouldn't rush for result too fast, and we wouldn't got hit at the break, right? So often.
Yeah, I think this is a especially good advice for the self-employed or the freelancer out there, or for someone who has actually just quit a job and looking for for something that they can do on their own. I mean, this is very important because if you have the mentality that okay, I have quit my job now, now I can start doing this on my own. But then, if they have this mindset, chances are they'll get hit very very quickly, and then they get all stressed out over time, and then probably think of giving up. But if you have the mindset coming into picture, knowing that this is a long term game, the whole mindset will be very different, and then they will do things at ease, at their own pace, and then slowly build towards wherever they want to achieve.
Yeah, but Catherine, if I may just add, to be very fair, right? I think what I shared today, right, is what kind of what I learned, right, along the way. When I first started, I was just like anyone else, right? As like very reckless, right, very very egoistic, right? I thought I knew everything, right? Back then, to be honest, I know nothing at all. But so here's the thing, I think it's not a bad thing, right, to make mistakes. It's not a bad thing to sometimes hit breaks or walls, right? Just that don't let your confidence or faith toward your own ability be affected because of that, right? Every lesson, right, good or bad, is a good opportunity to grow and improve ourselves.
Yep, very very good
Yeah.
sharing. Yep. So next up, would you please share with us your what is your investment breakdowns by percentage between different asset classes? I believe you
Yeah,
have
sure.
some. Yep. Yes. Interesting,
Yeah. So
chart for us to look at.
yeah. So what if you are watching right now? If anyone that's watching right now, so this is kind of my portfolio breakdown for June 2020. Reason is not July. It's because I haven't really updated this pie chart, right? And to be honest, it didn't change that much, except for more of the cash part actually goes into asset classes. So just quickly, let me just quickly break down what everyone is seeing right here. So the biggest part, or biggest chunk of my portfolio, even until now, is still cash in hand for investment purposes. Now, as I mentioned, because personally I'm a self-employed, right? So this kind of mean that I do not have like a stable income that's coming. I do not know what to expect, right? That's I have an idea lah. I'm not that I do not know at all. I kind of have an idea how much to
You're
go
just
into
being
my
too
bank
humble.
account. Yeah, but it is right. But this also means that definitely there will be months where I do not earn as much as I can, right, compared to the best month, right? So and again, because of my investment routine and even saving routine, what I do is I do it on a monthly basis. I accumulate assets on a monthly basis. I save on a monthly basis, right? As I mentioned, for travel, I put in money once every month, right, to accumulate a kind of like a tabung for me to go travel. For investment, I do that on a dollar cost average. If people like to say kind of dollar cost averaging on DCA, right? If the caveat is the fundamental of the company is strong, right? So what I do is every month I just allocate a certain fund inside that company. So with that in mind, cash, the reason why cash is the biggest chunk of this pie chart over here is because I have to prepare myself, right, to invest in the month where I may not earn that much, right? So you can call this cash in hand more like a cash buffer, right? Currently I have 3 months, actually 3.5 months of cash buffer for investment purposes, right? So this means that for my investment routine for the next 3.5 months to come, right, it's all covered, right? So when it's used up, then I just kind of, refill that cash buffer, and then it continues. So that is the reason why cash is still my biggest chunk, right, when it comes to my portfolio breakdown. Now, moving on, which without surprise is my next biggest holding is the stock market, which is REITs, right? So that's a practice out there where people actually separate REITs from the stock market. Well, it's a personal preference, but I don't think we should separate REITs from the stock market because REITs are part of the stock market. So yeah, so that's just me, right? So REITs are comes next as the biggest how to say the biggest breakdown of my investment, right? So
yeah, so we have a question here from Paul. So do you only invest in REITs in the stock market?
Hey,
So
yeah.
I believe he's asking about this orange portion, like is this your only stocks in your asset allocation?
Oh, yeah. So hi, Paul. So yeah, as of this moment, my money in the stock market is mainly REITs, right? But that doesn't mean I am very focused, right? Because a lot of people thought that, oh, when you invest in REITs, right, you are putting your eggs in one basket. That is actually not true, right? Because when you understand REITs, right, REITs is actually a sector where they contain commercial, listed commercial properties, right? So when I invest in REITs, when I understand the business of REITs, right, I am essentially exposing myself, right, to different kind of commercial properties. It could be retail, it could be office, right, it could be hospitality, it could be healthcare, right, it could be data center, right. Some other REITs in the US, right, they even have like the prison REITs, right, prison, jail, right. So basically, you expose yourself, right, when you understand just this REIT sector itself, right, it exposes you to a lot of different business industry in the market. So that's why, as I mentioned, my interest in REITs, I do not have time, unfortunately, as much as I love to, right, to study other sectors. So at this age, like at least at this moment in time, I double down on my strength. Now, that doesn't mean I only invest in REITs, right? Now I want to move on to the third pie, the biggest chunk in my investment breakdown, which is robo-advisor. This is something that is managed on my behalf, right? As I think most of the audience would have known, right? Stash Away, Wahid, right? So these are some of the low-cost robo-advisors that I use, right, in order to help me give me exposure to different ETFs and asset class in the market as well. Yeah, I think I remember that. I think there's a question from Marcus.
Yeah. I think there's a question. Marcus is saying that is your cash in hand only for trading purpose? I think you brought out the point earlier.
Yeah, good point, Marcus. So my cash for investment is purely cash for long-term investment. I have this, by the way, this is only cash, my asset for investment. I have asset for, I have money allocated for savings. I have money allocated for specific purposes like for trading. So that is not mentioned in this pie chart. Yeah. But anyway, thanks for asking, Marcus. So hopefully that is clear. Now, after robo-advisor, the next thing that I have money in is actually PRS in terms of allocation, right? This is, well, I think this is really not, I think there's nothing much for me to explain here. It's just another retirement scheme by the government, right? So it's there, right? It's nothing much that I do on my end. And moving on is gold, right? Which is Okay, a lot now about gold, right? Is a lot of people tend to think gold as an investment, right? Personally, I use the word invest as well, but ultimately, deep down, I look at gold as a form of inflation, not so much of a hedge, right? Be it again, if it could be against inflation, it could be against the market volatility, right? So it could be against the value of money itself. So I have asset to money allocated towards gold every month as well, right? On a monthly basis, right? Through platform like Hello Gold, right? Because again, not to again they don't sponsor this video, so but but here's the thing. Platform like Hello Gold, they allow me, right, to invest in gold at a very small amount, right, compared to other gold platforms where I need to invest at a 1 per gram basis, right? Sometimes I would just love to put in 50 ringgit, but only Hello Gold allow me to do that. Yeah, and personally, I'm looking towards adding some silver into my metal holding as well. So that is something that I would love to write about in the future. Now, that's gold, right? EPF is so EPF for me is a little different. If I think for everyone that's watching here tonight, you might have read about some personal finance creators. They show you the breakdown as well, right? Some people might have their EPF being taking out a huge chunk of their portfolio, but for me, right? For me, because I'm a self-employed, I self-contribute to my EPF. Now, because of that, right, I decide the amount of self-contribution that I do to EPF every month, right? Again, I do that every month as well. So as of now, at least for now, EPF is relatively small in my whole investment portfolio. So yeah, so lastly, it comes down to all the little things like the big cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, which is the leftover from the 2017-18 height, right? I actually managed to sell most of them at around around 20k USD, the height of 20k USD. So this is some of the remaining holdings. And personally, I'm looking into looking to invest, starting to add on more of my positions, right, to cryptocurrency as well. So yeah, that's so we kind of can expect the pie chart of the cryptocurrency part to kind of expand in time. Now the last one is ASND, right? Yeah, so it's ironically small, right? So there's nothing to be proud or talk about that. So yeah, I'll just that's it. That's my portfolio breakdown, at least for June 2020.
Yeah, thanks for your sharing and very detailed explanation of each allocation actually. And I see that you actually most of this investment are actually you have regular savings, regular investment towards those actually, right? Instead of just a lump sum into that asset classes itself, right?
Yes,
And
exactly.
also,
One of the sorry, Catherine, you were saying.
no problem. Go on, go on.
Oh yeah, because I think this is actually kind of the approach that I would suggest people, especially people who are busy in life, you have a family, you have children to take care of, right? You simply don't have time to manage your own investment, right? Maybe you can have a bit of time, right? But not you cannot the point that I'm trying to convey here is we cannot have control over everything, right? Whenever possible, automate, right? Whenever possible, automate the process, right? So if you can see among all the pie charts here, the only thing that I'm actively involved in is my investment in REITs, right? Because that's a sector that I'm familiar with. That's a sector that I'm interested in, right? So that is the platform. REITs are the only thing that I am actively involved in, right? The others, right, like the gold, like EPF, like what else? Robo advisors, right? All those I would say 95% of the time, right, I automate the whole process. Yeah. And again, for anyone that's watching here tonight, if you're interested, I think in the slide they have a QR code there. You can go check out this article specifically, and also, or else you can just visit my website, NoMoneyLah. Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. I think you brought out a very good point about which is
Automation.
investing. Yeah, automation is one point definitely because I mean, yeah, although we the term of like dollar cost averaging is a bit too overused sometimes, but it's still a good behavior when it comes to investing. We all believe, like, because yeah, we all know that by investing regularly, you are lowering down your investment cost. And also one point that you really brought out that I find is very interesting is that you actually, the reason why REITs has a big portion out of your pie chart is because it is something that you have a lot of skill sets in and a lot of knowledge in, and it's something that you have already studied for a period of time. So that makes more sense to invest more on this in this portion. I think it's not just for yourself or for anyone. Like, it's very important to actually invest on things that you have knowledge about, actually, instead of just investing based on just
What's the
because
hottest? Yeah.
yeah, correct. I see a lot of people say, "Oh, I want to buy gold now," but does it fit your asset, your whole investment portfolio? Is this something that you should have in your own investment? So it's really subjective. No one should. Everyone has a different ideal pie chart of this asset allocation, I believe. So yeah, it's not about listening to what others are investing on. It's about having your own study, knowing your risk profile or your strength, or how, whether you are self-employed or you have a very stable income. Everything will have everyone will have a very different approach when it comes to investment,
Yes,
right?
exactly. I think, yeah, everyone is different. Ultimately, everyone is different, right? Like Catherine is different, right? Steve, as well from MyPF is also different, right? You just need to find things that you are comfortable with, and most importantly, right, when you sleep at night, you can sleep properly and soundly, right?
Yeah, definitely. If you invest on something that you cannot see where your money goes to, that's gives you nightmare.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, that's thanks for your sharing about this. So it's I also realized that you have this this pie chart that is only for June. So
Hmm.
the question will come with how often do you review your asset allocation actually?
Uh, actually once every month, right? So actually tomorrow, actually in a few days time is the 31st of August already. So normally
Mm-hmm.
I do that either at the end of the month or early of the month, the coming month. So and the reason, and actually when I do that, I do not produce like a pie chart like this. That's why I do not update it with the July one.
Mm-hmm.
Because personally it's for personal use, so there's no need to be so
Definitely.
visually
Mm-hmm.
attractive and stuff like that. Unless I'm preparing an article. But and nevertheless, I do that once every month where I look at my balance sheet, I look at my income statement, like my personal balance sheet and income statement, and I just kind of help me project what I want to achieve in my income, right, growth and business, and also my, all the side income thing, right, help me plan for the next few months to come. Yeah.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I do think it's a very good habit to review. I mean, we all should review our personal finance regularly, but of course, like how often it's subjected. For someone who has a very stable job, stable income, without much changes with their monthly expenses, then they probably don't have to review every month. But for like a self-employed, like even like, but for myself, like I think regular review of our personal finance is very very important.
That's true. You know why? Because the reason why, again, anyone that's watching here this evening, right, you do not need to do that every month. The reason why perhaps people like me or Catherine are doing that every month is because, who knows, right? If we do not keep track, right? When we try to, at the next time we try to use our card, right, there's no money in there anymore, right? When we try to go to ATM, right, there's no more money there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
correct.
so doing all this thing, right, prepare us from being caught off guard when with any financial distress when we really need the money. Yeah.
Hmm. Yep. So we have this question from Yu Shen. So,
Hmm.
do you rebalance the portfolio according to the specific percentage allocation, or you just let each investment grow on their own? Very good question.
Okay, now thanks for commenting, Yushen. So how okay, it's really subjective, right, on this topic. How do I rebalance my portfolio? Now,
Mm,
obviously, the pie chart will change with time, right? So,
mm,
once I'm if I ever come across any good opportunity, right, definitely I'll put some money into that. But as a whole, for now, as at least for now, right, the pie chart that you see is kind of it's almost the same, right, for the next for the past few months and the next few months to come. So it will be almost the same, but perhaps the thing for REITs, the one that I actively involved in, right, maybe there'll be some changes, but ultimately for the ones that I automate, right, as I mentioned, is automation. So I try to not interrupt with the automation process. But other than that, yeah, it will remain something like this for at least for the months to come. Yeah.
Yeah, but to add on to the questions, do you think this is your ideal asset allocation, or do you is that if you were to further improve it, which area would you want to change or further improve?
Um. Oh yeah. Actually, this is a very good question. This is not the final form, right, of my
Mm,
portfolio, my ideal
mm,
portfolio. There are definitely parts of my portfolio where I wish it could be larger or it could be better in relative to other holdings. As an example, EPF. I definitely hope that in time my EPF
mm,
allocation will be bigger, right? In
mm,
that's definitely going to happen, right? Another example is for gold, and I want to
mm,
definitely start to diverse some into silver as well, right? And for
mm,
cryptocurrency for future proving my portfolio. So there's just so many things that I want to do that I cannot do that like immediately, right? And
mm,
even I want to do that immediately, I may not have the cash buffer that allows me to do that. So
mm,
so yeah, I mean, as for the stock market as well, obviously once I have more time to study other sectors, I will most likely diverse into different industry and sectors as well. So to be honest, is this a portfolio breakdown that I'm happy with? Is it perfect? Exactly, absolutely no, right? But we just improve with time, right? I think we cannot be perfectionists in the journey of financial independence and investment, right? If you are a perfectionist, it's very, very hard for you to tolerate all the little learning curve in the journey. Yeah.
yeah, true. I believe like about even when every time when you review, you are learning something new when it comes to your asset allocation. We have another question from Wei Shen. Which robo advisor generate a better return, Wahid or stash away? Wow.
Oh wow.
How about we can always choose to answer or
Yeah, I think
have your own
actually
explanation.
this is an interesting question, Mason. So to be honest, when people ask me this question, right, my answer is the same, right? Like, robo advisor is a relatively new financial service in the market, at least in
Mm,
Malaysia, right? Wahid,
mm,
Stashaway, even things like MyPF and any other robo advisors in the market, they are what at most two years, right, or three
mhm,
years. It's impossible for us to tell which one perform better in the long run, right? The
mhm,
only way we can tell, right, at least in the short term, is how do they perform after they started the business until now, right? The historical data. So it would be unfair for me to say one is better than another because it will not represent them in the long run. So my suggestion, right, is to, there's so many platforms out there, try them all, right? Then you make your own decision, right? In maybe in a few years' time, right? Who knows, right? You might find your initial assumption right or wrong, right?
yeah. That's a very good way to put it. Really, is to I mean, first off, is really to come from your own. It's only make any like investment decision after you really understand your current financial situation instead of just thinking that like this one is better, I just go like even if you have decided that this is the one that this the investment that you want to go for, you should only allocate the fund that you want to allocate based on your own study of your current financial situation.
Yes, exactly.
Yep. All right. That's thanks for sharing on your pie chart and also all the financial independence tips. And
Happy to do so.
yep. So tying in with our Merdeka month, which is the month of August. So what are your hopes and aspirations for Malaysia? especially in perspective of finance and economy?
This is actually a very big question
Yeah,
for
it
me
is.
to
It sounds
answer.
big.
Actually, for me, for in terms of the personal finance and side of for fellow Malaysians, right? I realized that after writing about personal finance for about 2 years right now, I'm trying to understand money for for some years right now, and also being in the community, right? Or so just so for the audience, right? We have like different communities of talking about personal finance in Malaysia, especially on Facebook. So being in all this community, English, Chinese, or as or even Malay as well, right? We know that the questions asked normally, right, when it comes to money and investment, I feel like we are still in a very immature stage, right? We still have a long way to go when it comes to our financial literacy part, right? How we invest our money, right? How do we even approach money? How people ask questions, right? Especially in public groups or forums, right? So, and just to give you an example, how people ask questions normally, what I observe, like, especially among new investors, is they straight away shoot a question on the group and ask, what is the best stocks to buy right now, right? What is the recommendation, right? I have like 20K, where should I invest in? So these are the questions that kind of reflects, that show us that, we need to teach money, right? And investment in school, right? Because if this were taught in school, right, the questions like, I have 20K, I have 100K, where should I invest right now? This kind of question will not, or at least will be much more rare compared to what we are seeing nowadays, right? People would already have answer, right? When they already have the ability to accumulate, say, 20 to 100K of capital to invest, right? These people, right, if the education part was done right, they would have known what they got to do with that money, right? So in short, right, what I observe in the as a whole, the perspective, right, a bigger picture right now is most of us, most Malaysians lack this kind of personal finance and money literacy part of the education right now. So to be honest, my aspiration for Malaysia for the next 1 year or 5 years or even 10 years in time is really we, like Catherine, you, right, MyPF, right, Steve, me, myself, right, we are able to start contributing to the market, right, our readers, our followers, our friends, right, about the proper mindset about money, right, and proper, not I'm not in a place to give recommendation, but proper ways of how I manage my own money in order to inspire more people, right, to take charge of their personal finance, right? And whenever possible, when they need it, go get help. Go get help. So, like, go reach out to people, like Catherine from IPF, Steve from IPF, go get help from them. And, we need to really start to, I wish that Malaysians would start to put down their ego and go get help and go ask questions, right? Ask proper questions, not the kind of outcome-based question. I have 20K, where should I invest, right? Not this kind of question, but I want to learn about money. Where should I start? So this kind of questions, people will start to ask, right? People will start to learn. So if we can inspire 100 people around us, right? Even if we can inspire 1,000 people around us, even it's a small group, I think I would urge Malaysians that have this kind of knowledge to start inspiring people around you. Share your goals, right? Share your habits, share your routine, right? Not the outcome, right? But the routine, the process, so we can start to inspire more friends and people around us to get more mindful about money. So yeah, I nag a lot, but that's me. Yeah.
No problem. I
So yeah.
understand. I understand. Like in this community, at least we are seeing more and more people are actually are starting to be more conscious about their personal finance and starting to ask questions about their own like money issue instead of sitting on it. I think we can see that we are already seeing changes in this this couple of years actually. So of course, like back to the point that we all, at least we start with the acknowledgement that knowing that we lack this sort of financial education. like whether in school or in this society, which is what we are trying to do, which is, we share what we know, and then we share based on our experience, and also share on like the knowledge they have learned from the proper education and like actual experience in dealing with clients' work actually.
Yes,
Right.
exactly, exactly. Yep.
Yep. So which ties back to the big question, which is what is the one big audacious habit or goal that you want our audience?
Oh, sorry. Your question was, Catherine?
Yeah,
Oh,
which is the one big audacious habit or goal that you want our audience to take action right now. It's supposed to be it's short and precise. One thing that you should just telling whoever is listening or watching right now to just get up and do it right now.
wow. Just start. Just start. Whatever you want to do with your money, in terms of investing, savings, controlling your expenses, just start, right? You're going to
Mm.
suck at first, but, you got to get better with time. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a very good point. Like a lot of people have just give a lot of excuses that they know they should do something about their current situation, but most of the time they think they don't know where to start, so they just it's just easy to sit on the problems. But I mean, we all understand that it's gonna be tough at first if you're already having some issues. But if you can just let go of all the ego and then just start looking for help, and then asking around for like good advisors, and then just start. It will be tough at first, but the things will get better like later on,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
At least,
That's true.
yeah. At least we have this community that's all trying to like improve our, Malaysia's financial education at certain point. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so which comes to the fun part, which is the random question game.
Okay, let's
So
do it.
yeah, so for those who are not so familiar with this game, it's a session where we will have a generator that generates a random question out of 20,000 combination, and yeah, I'll get to ask Yi Xuan one question, and then to be fair, you get to ask me another question as well.
Okay, cool.
All right. So I mean, the rule is that it's a question, and then you will have to choose from either one of the answers, and not just that you have to give like explanation of why this instead of the other one.
Oh, I have to
So okay. So we should go straight to the question. Actually,
Okay,
I'll read
okay,
out
let's
the
do that.
question for you. No worries. So, question for Ishan is: would you rather be a roti canai flipper or a wise wizard?
Okay.
That's
Wise wizards.
yeah. This is not too tough. Okay, but why?
Okay.
Why
Why?
not roti canai flipper?
There,
It's a
there's so
good
much more. There's much more possibility for to be for a wise wizard, because when I am a wizard, I can turn myself into a roti canai flipper as well.
Okay. You made it. I mean, not so easy question. Like sounds so easy. Okay. All right. Wise wizard then. Okay.
Okay.
Here's my question.
So would you rather drink blended cheese or blended roti telur? Oh my god. Ah.
Uh, ah, jeez. I would choose roti telur. What do we get like this kind of funny questions are?
Okay.
Yeah, roti telur. I'm just guessing it would taste okay. Probably I'm not a fan of cheese. Roti telur should be fine, like it's just eggs with some flour in it. Should be
Okay.
fine. But I don't even feel like trying to imagine the taste of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Next.
Next. All right. So that's it for random question game actually.
Okay. Awesome.
Right. So is
So.
there something that you would like to share or wrap up for this session?
Oh yeah. So anyway, thanks MyPF, thanks Catherine, thanks Steve for inviting me for the session today. Truly appreciate that. If anyone have any questions or you want to reach out to me if about investment, personal finance, right? Definitely. My email is just right here, Yixuan at NoMoneyLah.com, or just check out my website, NoMoneyLah.com. So happy to be here, right? Hopefully today, everyone learned something today, and hopefully, if for anyone that's watching but haven't started your journey, just start, right? Just start. No matter how small is it, I always tell people, if you have 10 ringgit today, just start with 10 ringgit, right? Just start with whatever you have, then you expand from there. Yeah. So yeah, that's me. Definitely check me out at my website, and talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, Yi Xuan.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank
Bye.
you. And bye. All right. Thanks. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I hope you have learned a lot of good points from Yi Xuan. There are a couple of things that I've learned from him. Like one thing he has mentioned many, many times, which is to just start now. Stop delaying, stop giving excuse. Just start from something small. And also, one more point that he mentioned that I find it very useful is actually to first focus on the long-term game, and then focus on what you're good at, and then keep doing it until you get better. So, right. So, and thank you all for listening. I'll see you in the next episode. And don't forget to subscribe. And and you can find the show notes and link on our website, mypf.my/podcast. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Hasta pronto.